But what about born children, Carly? Are you saying that, you know, there is child abuse, like in terms of born children? There's even people that kill their born children, not very many, but does that mean we shouldn't have a law against killing your child once it's born?
No, we should.
But why?
Because you can't kill people?
Well, why can we kill them when they're in the womb? It's the same child. Does it matter really where the child lives? Whether it's a child outside the womb or inside the womb, it's the same person.
Right.
So why can we kill them when they're in the womb and we can't kill them when they're outside of the womb?
I agree with you. I think you're making valid points. You're actually changing my mind as we're having this conversation. What I'm saying though is people are going to make that choice. Not me, not you, not you. I get it. But people are. There are people out there that will. So in the event that they do, I would prefer to support individual choices, not promote my thinking. Because I'm going to do what I'm going to do in my life. I'm going to do it. I'm still going to sleep with my boyfriend, you know, in my apartment and do what I do. But I'm going to do it in a way that I want to. And I'm going to support myself and back that decision. So I want to help back other people's decisions. Whether it goes against my morals or not, that's not my job. You know, I'm a social worker, not a priest. It's not my job to, you know, reprehend people based on what they do or believe. It's my job to support them after the fact or during the time that they're making a decision. I've actually had people come to my office because they're struggling with, should I have an abortion or not? And I can't sit there and say, no, you shouldn't, what the hell? And, you know, wave this in their face. I can't do that. It doesn't matter if I want to or not. I can't. My job is to be an ally for whatever it is that they decide. So if they come back 2 weeks later and say, I did have the abortion, I'm then going to give them a pamphlet about abortion support groups, who to go for, you know, specific help. I might give them religious groups if they choose to go that route. I might give them pro-life, pro-choice, whatever.
What about if
depending on what they want.
Carly, what about if your neighbor was planning to kill their born child, say a 2-year-old?
I call CAS.
If your neighbor, somebody that you knew, maybe even a family member, was very frustrated, maybe, you know, discouraged, and thought, you know, I'm just going to kill my child.
Right.
And that's not your choice, and you know that's a horrible thing to do.
Right.
But are you saying you would just be okay with that and, you know, encourage them in that decision?
No.
But why not?
But well, now you're talking about the difference between something that's legal, an abortion, and something that's illegal.
Abortions aren't really legal.
But they are.
They're just no law. There is no law. There's a vacuum.
Okay, so there's no law. If abortions
Since 1988, there's been no law, but that doesn't mean they're legal.
Okay, so there's no law. Excuse my language. Let me rephrase. There's no law against or for. Well, because there's no law. If it was illegal, people would know. There's no law for or against. That's why I don't interfere. If they were doing something illegal, of course I would interfere. And in fact, if I didn't, I would lose my license, because as a social worker, just as a teacher, as a priest, you have a duty to report. And if you fail to report those acts, then you get stripped of your license. Bad things could happen to me in my career. So of course I'm going to report something illegal. I'm not going to report bad choices.
You mean if somebody was planning to kill their born child?
That's illegal.
Which is illegal,
yeah.
Right? So you wouldn't support that.
No.
But that very same child could actually be younger than a child living in a womb. You know, you could be born prematurely, slightly, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. And so there you have a born child that's going to be murdered, and you would oppose that, and that's good.
I was born at 28 weeks.
There you go.
I was very premature. I was 2 pounds 1 ounce.
So you would be outside the womb.
Right.
And you couldn't be killed only because you're outside of the womb. But if you're in the womb, the same person.
People have abortions at 28 weeks.
In Canada, you can have an abortion right up to the moment of birth, and even actually after birth.
No.
Absolutely.
You can have an abortion after.
They call them postnatal abortions. It's called infanticide, killing a child.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know that existed.
Well, there's no law in Canada that prevents it, so right up until the last moment, unless they're even if you have a toe in the birth canal, you can be killed. That's the lack of law in Canada. But surely you're being a premature child, 28 weeks. I mean, are you a different person just because you were born early?
Well, because I was born
Like
early,
36, what is it, 36 weeks is the normal gestation
30,
period?
36 to 39.
All right, so you
So
were
I was
quite a bit
28
earlier.
weeks.
And you'd be fair game inside the womb, but outside the womb, not.
Well, because I was born prematurely, I have cerebral palsy. So I have a physical disability because of my prematurity,
Right.
which has changed the course of my life and will continue to do so.
But that doesn't change your dignity as a human being and the
No,
value of your life.
It doesn't.
And you shouldn't be killed.
But that's not what my parents chose.
Now, why should your parents have a choice to kill you? Just because you're inside the womb. And if you're outside the womb, they can't kill you. That doesn't make any sense, Carly.
So even though it's
Right,
legal,
but it's about their choice.
But why do you have a choice to kill somebody else?
But that's not for you to say. You can believe what you believe. That's fine. I'm not arguing that. But other people will believe what they will. You see what I mean?
You don't believe you can kill a born child.
No, I don't.
So why can you kill an
I'm talking
unborn
about
child?
society at large. You can have your beliefs as an individual, and I can have mine. That's what it comes down to.
Well, not really. It's murder in both cases. It's homicide.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. Homicide is the killing of a human being. That's the definition of homicide. The only reason it's not homicide in Canada because they redefine the child in the womb as not being a human being. Do you realize that?
well, actually, blacks were not defined as human beings either, and they were allowed to be killed in the States. So this is another thing. It's a human. That's why we call it a human rights issue, because we'd like to have the unborn child called a person
Right.
and a human being. I think we accept the fact that it's a human being, but not a person.
But see, I can have my opinion about that, and I can also support people who have made decisions that don't support my beliefs. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, as a social worker, I'm not here to criticize people's bad behavior.
But if they
I'm
did-
here to support what choices they make. So it's a separate, I have to separate myself from my work.